Greetings, YouTube. Welcome to video number 10. Finally reached double digits after a couple of false starts and um, long gaps in between. Long gaps in between. Uh, Almost lost control of something here. Before I get started, um, before I get started, I want to send out many thanks and appreciation to everybody who watches, has watched, continues to watch, and has subscribed to all the videos here. It's always appreciated, and I'll keep doing them as long as you guys keep coming and watching them and you're interested. I'll continue to do them. Uh, got some pretty nice stuff the past week or two, and found some really nice stuff today. Considering that we just came back from San Diego last week, and we spent X amount of money out there finding some pretty nice stuff. But it's always nice to find stuff in your own backyard. As nice it is, as nice and beautiful as it is out there, and the things you can find out there, it's always nice to find stuff back home in your own element. It's really really nice. Uh, Start off with a few pops that my girlfriend found not too far from where she works, and it's in one of the better comic stores in the city because they tend to have a lot of everything. She found herself Hello Kitty 8-bit. She looks as cute as she does with her overalls and her festive red bow. And the same with her companion there to her right. She's got a little festive red bow too. Um, she also found one that I didn't expect to find. I didn't expect to get um, Antonio I Lost My Damn Mind Brown when he was with the Raiders before he made a spectacle of himself and got himself cut from the Raiders before the season even started. If you want to, if you want to get yourself fired or cut by a team that you don't want to play for, behave like Antonio. Take notes. And it's a good thing they didn't make the blonde mustache one. That would have been interesting, but I don't know what the hell he was thinking with the blonde mustache. Bad enough we had to deal with the cube on his head, but the mustache would have been one to talk about. Uh, Recently found a purple Joker from Arkham Asylum. The color Jokers are actually pretty cool. They look like they're chrome, metallic-y chrome. I'm not sure if they really are, but they look really cool. And that was the purple one. So there's a silver one, an orange one, a purple one, and a green one. And it seems like the green one is the hardest to find. Check on eBay, you'll find all kinds of prices, some through the roof, some pretty manageable if you're willing to pay for that. Uh, Now today, I happened to make a run, part of my every other weekend journey into the city and the suburbs and looking for stuff, seeing what I could spend money on. And it just so happens that I found a green Joker. I found a green Joker. I was surprised to find a green one out there today because I was really hoping I would have, because that was part of the main objective for today: find a green Joker. And happened to stop in at the one of the local stores, and he was there, much to my delight. I only had a few, so I'm not surprised about that. But I'm more surprised at the fact that he was there, and they were available on the shelves like that. I found that one, and I also found one that I've been after for a long time. 80th anniversary Marvel original Human Torch. Human Torch is one of my favorite characters of all time, right up there with Spider-Man in terms of the Marvel Universe, the actual Marvel Universe, I might add. And on the back, it's got a picture of Marvel Comics #1 from 1939. To me, that's my holy grail of comics. A lot of people say it's Action #1, Detective 27. Um, that one's my holy grail. And there's an interesting story to that particular issue. Um, and I just found it by accident about that one. Wasn't even looking for it, but happened to find a backstory to Marvel Comics #1 from spring 1939. Stopped in at my local half price books because I did not go there looking for comics. I went there looking for a video for Halloween. So you go in, you walk around, you start looking at everything. Yeah, they got a little display of pops and things like that. Um, but then the comics always seem to find their way, or I always seem to find my way to the comics. So they were calling me, and some of the stuff I got from there is coming up in a second. But the new books from the local store near me We'll start off with Exo Man of War number 24. He's got that armor. He's ready to handle business. Spider-Man number 2. I'm really liking this miniseries so far. The new miniseries from J.J. Abrams and Sarah Pichelli. Really liking this story so far. Really liking this series. The art is really good. The story is really good. This one's really getting my attention. I'm glad I started picking it up. X-Men number 1, and this is the Stan Lee Art Germ Lau alternate of Marvel Girl in her green costume. And I've always loved this costume that Marvel Girl had. It's something about the costume. I've always liked it from the time I saw it when I first started collecting. And that's my favorite costume of hers, next to the Phoenix costume. But this one is always going to be tops. The green dress and the gold mask, and it clashes so well with her hair. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful cover. Very interested in X-Men number 1, and it's funny that the day it came out, I'm looking at all the new books coming out, and I think somebody actually bought that one or was gonna buy that one. It was in this stack, and when I come back from the other end of the new book display, I see it there in front of the standard covers because the store owner had a big stack of had a pretty good stack of standard cover X-Men number 1s, and that was the only alternate there of Jean in her costume, her Marvel Girl costume, and I think that's actually the second one that I do have of her in the green costume. So that's pretty cool to find. That was a really good one. Exo Man of War number 20. Really feeling that one. That's just an awesome ass cover. Really like that one. And I really do have a whole new respect for Valiant because, growing up, I didn't think much of Valiant. And I'll admit that. I didn't think much of Valiant. And I don't think really a lot of people did. Because they were somewhat obscure characters from the 60s. Nobody really paid attention to them. I always felt like people were kind of snickering at them. And I was probably in that too, because I had never heard of these characters, and the books didn't look like they were very good quality. But I'm glad I came around eventually, after so many years. I'm glad I came around, and I got a whole new respect for Valiant now. I really like the new Exo Man of War series. Now today I stopped in Half Price Books, as I said previously, and found some really nice unexpected books out of there. And we'll start off with a Marvel Man Companion Primer book. And this was more or less the intro to the new Marvel Man series after Marvel acquired the rights to the character from whoever owned it after Eclipse had it, maybe 20 something, maybe 25, maybe 30 years ago, when Eclipse had him, and they finally were able to get the rights to the character and release all of the stories that were not released because Eclipse had gone under at the time those original stories were either finished or they were almost done, and Neil Gaiman took over the writing duties for Miracle Man at the time, but they just never were published. And this is the Marvel Man primer intro to the character. And the legal things concerning that character is just unbelievable. Just layers and layers of legal fighting and wrangling and stuff like that. It's considered a nightmare from the things I've read. It's a really convoluted history the character has, but it's just so tied up in legal stuff. It's unbelievable. I don't know how anybody survived all of that. You'd probably go crazy by then. I got a Hero special edition, and this is kind of the precursor to Wizard. And if not, it's about the same time that they were out. But that's a number 1 special edition. How about that? And it's all about the Bat. So that one seems like it's going to be a pretty good one. Lots of interviews and probably a lot of history and backstory to Batman that everybody knows by now. Still pretty cool to have. We'll start off with... Start off with Daredevil number 12. That's a really cool cover when Joe Quesada and Jimmy Palmiotti started off with the relaunch to Daredevil, late 90s, early 2000s. So that was a really good one to find. Um, Green Arrow number 42. Really cool cover on that one. Big fan of Green Arrow. Like the series. The drag is coming to an end, but a lot of good things usually come to an end as they do. Uh, but that's a good one to find. That was a really cool one to find. Dark Knight 3, The Master Race, Book 5. Really glad I'm finding this series now. I wasn't too sure when it first came out, but the more I kept reading about it, the more I saw the advertisements and other parts of the story, the more I started getting more interested in it. So I'm glad I'm going after those now. Uh, Amazing Spider-Man 522. The very cool Kari Andrews cover. It's one of my favorite cover artists. I think he did some interior work too, but I think now he does more covers. Always loved his work. I'm not sure what he does to it, what his process is, but he always has these really atmospheric looking covers, and the you can kind of feel that in the work when you look at him. So he's definitely one of my favorite artists. Invincible Iron Man number 4. Mary Jane took over as the top girl at Stark Industries. Dark Knight 3, Book 4. That's a pretty cool cover. Dark Knight 3, Book 3. That's a good one. I actually just saw that one recently. I'm not sure exactly where, but I know I saw it. Really cool Vampirella. Really cool Vampirella sketch cover. Joe Quesada did this one, and this was part of the half price books haul today too. Just a fantastic sketch cover, reminiscent of Alphonse Mucha. Very cool, very cool to find that one, and interested to see what the story is about. Supergirl number 1. So I think I got a chance to catch up in those. They're not too far. They're not too far gone for me to catch up to. Uh, Vampirella Classic number 1. This is the classic Frank Frazetta magazine size cover to the Fangoria kind of magazines and monster magazines he used to have in the 60s and 70s. Frank Frazetta is just an artistic genius, and his work has just always been so fantastic. Now it's nice to have a. You can't really get the original unless you're really willing to pay for it, but it's nice to have a reprint. Nice to have a reproduction. It's about as close as I'll get to it, but I'll take it. Daredevil number 35. This is during the Bendis Malieve run in the early 2000s. Gave Daredevil a lot more credibility. Definitely gave him a lot more relevance because he seriously needed it after the big drop off. And yeah, that's a good series to get. It's a good run to get when Bendis and Malieve are on it. Daredevil number 30. Number 29. Number 28. And Green Arrow number 40. Really, really nice Native American cover with the wolf, the feathers, the shaman, tribe leader. Just fantastic, fantastic cover. And a really interesting one to find too. Superman 82. Signed by Dan Jurgens. What looks to be Dan Jurgens' signature in silver ink that clearly somebody had and found its way into the bargain bins in a half-price books. And that's yet another example. The same examples that Erod 212, Manny Mint, they find all these just incredible books that you would never expect to find that in a store, at a garage sale, or anywhere like that. So it never ever hurts to check out garage sales, estate sales, even some of the stores like Half Price Books, to see what people are actually willing to give up they don't want. for whatever reason they don't want them. All right, and then if you come across them, you find them, take them. And each one of those books from Half Price Books was between $1 and $3. So that's pretty nice. It's a pretty nice haul to find at a store, just a regular store, not in anybody's basement, not in anybody's yard sale or anything. So it's nice to find something like that in the wild. That's pretty cool. Uh, Rounding home, we recently acquired. I don't want to sound like a Major League Baseball executive, but we recently found a full set of 80th anniversary Marvel 80th anniversary pops, and we found Iron Man and Captain America. Followed those up with Wolverine and Spider-Man. Follow them up with those two. Not sure how good you can see it with the glare, but yeah, Wolverine and Spider-Man. Now these four are up for trade, or they're up for sale. You can either leave me a message. You can either leave me a message here, or find another. Not even find another way to contact me. You can leave a message here, and I'm sure I'll see it at some point. I'm looking for either a very fair trade for those, or I'm willing to sell them. Prefer to sell, but if anybody who sees them is really interested in them, seriously interested in them, and they're gonna go to a good home, you can contact me on my YouTube channel, and we'll see what we can work out. See what we can work out for them. If you're serious about taking them, if you're really interested in them, and I don't have separation anxiety, but I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to listen as long as it's a fair trade where we're both going to be happy. I'm willing to do that. And last but not least, this one goes out to my girlfriend. She was looking around for a particular character. She was having a lot of difficulty finding it. And when I went and found one of the pops I found out there, I happened to find this one too, and I know she's going to love it. And I was so happy I was able to find it, because it's going to her, and I know she's going to love it. And it's something that she was really, really looking forward to, and I'm glad I was able to get it for her. So this goes out to her. Lady Liberty, Hello Kitty. Looking as adorable as she is in her Statue of Liberty outfit, and she's got her little torch on the side too. And she's all about love and liberty. She's just ridiculously adorable, and I know she's going to love this one a lot. She had been looking for it for a couple of weeks now. Damaged box and things like that, and it really let her down, because she was really, really looking forward to that one. That'll do it. Until next time, enjoy what you love what you enjoy, and keep collecting. And last but not least, go Nationals. Not sure who you guys are going to play in the World Series, but whoever you play in the World Series, I'm sticking with you. Have been ever since you guys came into the league. Go Nats.